I want to stick with Pittsburgh for 1 second. I've never had to twist your arm in your entire life to talk about the banks of the Three Rivers, but I want to take you to task for just one moment. And I've talked about this with Martin last week. I can't tell you how upset I was with your take that this is the worst time in the history of Pittsburgh sports since was it 40 years? Since 82?
40 years, since 1983. That was spot on.
Yeah, maybe it is spot on, but for you to get onto a mic that other people can hear lamenting that you have been in this bad a spot in the last 40 years, while your favorite hockey players of all time, besides Lemieux, are still skating, and your team is competing for the NFL playoffs and eventually made it, it's just like the most low-key humble brag you could possibly do. Like, hey, this is the worst it's been in a very, very long time, and it's still pretty special. And me, as a DC sports fan, have to listen to this crap for you bellyaching that this is the worst time in 40 years, which is still really good, when every one of my teams, besides the Capitals, who I don't even really follow hockey, are a clear bottom 5 team with no future. So why do you get to go on an open mic? Why do you get to go out and brag about how good the last 40 years were when the rest of us have to continue to suffer?
Well, first of all, who knows? In a matter of days or weeks, my current head coach may well be your head coach. Who knows how that cookie might crumble? We'll see on that front. And the great news is those dark days are over with already. Listen, they just needed that. They had to hit bottom, and they did. Bottom was losing at home to Arizona and then to New England and then losing to Gardner Minshew and the Colts. Not just losing, but getting destroyed by them and feeling like, well, that's a wrap on the season for which I had high hopes. And the Penguins are one of the worst teams in hockey. I had to announce, listen, no jive. That's my policy. That's my cardinal rule. I have to shoot straight. And it was by record and by gut feeling, the darkest time in 40 years. But the great news is, like I said, it's over with. We've moved on. We're on the rise again.
Oh my God, this is your low point. You're making me sick again right now. You're making me sick. This was your low point for 40 years. Like, you and Boston fans are completely insufferable. If this is as low as it gets for you, see how the rest of us live, Dave Dameshek. You say you're an empath. Come down and wallow in our misery before you hit an open mic and complain that your team is whatever it was, 7-8, and this is the darkest of days.
Is it Black Monday or is it Black and Gold Monday? Here we go, Mason Rudolph. Here we go. It's time to once and for all show football America who truly was the greatest quarterback available in the 2018 NFL draft. Show Josh Allen. Show all the rest of them fancy pantses. Who's boss number 2? Go get him.